Oh boy, Paul Joseph Watson. We have not watched this guy in a while, and I am not excited to hear his voice again. Let me tell you the truth, I really don't like this guy. The level of smugness and Britishness that he brings to the table, it's a perfect combo to low-key make me internally crash out. But I know you guys want to see this, and the reason why is because Paul Joseph Watson remains one of the largest political figures on the entire internet. Looking at his channel right now, his videos pull like, man, 517,000 in 2 days, 568,000 in 5, almost 500k in 13, nearly 900,000 in 2 weeks. You know, like, it's a little up and down, hit or miss, but like, his lowest performing videos are around the 400k mark, and his average seems to be close to 5 or 600k. And this is a guy who uploads pretty low effort stuff, so this level of viewership, it goes to show this guy is really reaching people. People are listening to him and they think his rhetoric, it just hits the spot for them, right? I hate to say it, but, you know, as much as I don't like Paul Joseph Watson, his method works. People are listening to him, even if everything he has to say is lies and nonsense. But hey, let's go ahead and check out one of his newest videos. It has a title that, I won't lie, kind of pulled me in. It appeals to me quite a bit. Liberal Woman Finds Out. I don't even know what I want to say about this title. Like, I might come off as just kind of a triggered lefty or whatever, but like, come on. Are we really just scraping the bottom of the barrel this hard? Because I remember back in the day when Paul Joseph Watson still pretended to be kind of a centrist, so God, how much the mask has come off in the last 5 years kind of blows me away when I think about it. Anyway, Liberal Woman Finds Out. What could this possibly be about? I genuinely don't know. We do know Paul Joseph Watson is like a stone cold incel. I don't know if you guys remember, but he got exposed by Lauren Southern for desperately trying to get in her pants in her DMs, like trying to set up some kind of degenerate like three-way or something like that. Just know that Paul Joseph Watson, for all his talk about how modernity is evil and the nuclear family is good and men should not watch porn or have out of marriage sex and instead should focus on family building, this guy certainly loves to try and set up three-ways and, sex parties and hook up with every right-wing female pundit he can find. Probably even tried to hook up with some female pundits too, or some left-wing female pundits too. Maybe even tried to hook up with some male pundits, who knows, bro? Who knows? This guy's crazy behind the scenes, just going off of what Lauren Southern posted.
Female travel season's about to get underway, and you know what that means. A liberal white woman hopped on board a plane to visit India with the best of intentions.
Oh boy, I did not predict this one. I didn't think we were going to get Indian hate in this one, but I should not be surprised. That is one of the more popular right-wing trends right now.
I wanted to show the beautiful sides of India because there's so much hate about India.
Then when she actually got there and walked around for 5 minutes, reality hit hard.
I really tried to show the beautiful sides, but I will tell you something now. In Goa at the beach, like 3 different group of men came to me asking for pictures. I said, no, I'm in a bikini. I don't want to take picture with you like this. I got harassed in a temple from a 50-year-old Indian guy who asked me for a kiss on his cheek and asked me 3 times where my hotel is and if he can come to my hotel in the night. 10 different countries. I experienced this shit as a woman, even in my country, and I'm fucking tired of this.
I like how he forgot to edit out the ending, by the way. Yeah, that is the experience of being a woman. And in countries that are more conservative and misogynistic, that is even more so the experience of being a woman. I'm actually shocked that her story isn't even scarier and even worse than how she told it. You'll notice, by the way, that she wasn't just talking about India, though, that she's been to, what it was, like 10 to 30 different countries, and this has happened to her in all of them, she said. So this is not like an India-specific thing, as if, like, Indian people are inherently prone to being creepy or whatever. But one thing I will say, and I wish that more progressive people were willing to talk about this, but yeah, there are a lot of aspects of Indian culture that are more misogynistic and normalized misogyny than what we have here in the US and throughout the West. There's definitely a tendency, I guess, from what I have witnessed, where, like, women will notice, like, slight microaggressions in cases of dealing with like older Indian men sometimes, and it's a conservative culture, you know. You talk to old conservative white men and you pick up on some things too. But there's been this desire to demonize Indian people as being like, first and foremost, what they really want to convince people of is that they're lesser, and trying to convince them that Indian people want to live in the kind of filth that's the product of like certain areas of India having overpopulation, too much population, not really overpopulation, but overpopulation density, and a lack of resources to deal with the consequences of so many people living in a cramped space. You know, there's this desire to make it out to be like that. Think of it as what Ben Shapiro once said about Palestinians, that they live in sewage, right? Like, they want to convince people that like a certain group is lesser and lives in filth. This is a very common way of dehumanizing a group that you want to justify hatred towards. It's just like it's been done a billion times. It's super unoriginal, like promise you. But they're trying to really hard to do it to Indian people right now.
Yeah, great job on disproving the hate, love. Meanwhile, down at the beach.
A whole beach. I'm at a like secluded beach as well. And a man has to stand right there.
Yeah, the generic term man is doing a lot of heavy lifting here.
Can I sit here?
I like how, okay, all right.
Yeah, I guess. How long for?
Half hour?
Huh?
I sit here.
Imagine my shock, he's Indian.
Imagine my, that's his like catchphrase, by the way. Imagine my shock. Oh my god, imagine my shock, he's Indian. Yeah, if you guys don't know, by the way, like, racism is allowed on YouTube big time now. I don't know if you know this, but like, I was worried the other day because I was playing a clip of Chud the Builder from Twitter where he's like screaming the N-word like over and over and over again at the top of his lungs, and I was like, oh boy. You know what? I accept whatever YouTube does to this video because of that, I accept. Do you want to know what YouTube did to that video? That has uncensored Chud the Builder screaming the N-word like 10 times in it. Do you want to know what YouTube did to that video? Fucking nothing! It has a green dollar sign. It's fully fucking monetized and unrepressed, okay? It actually got a lot of views, too. Like, if you're wondering, like, how allowed is racism on YouTube now? It's so allowed now.
I'm just kind of
Are you
chilling.
comfortable?
Huh?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
So I am sit here.
Imagine my shock at a cherry-picked clip following the narrative I'm pushing. Yes, imagine my shock that I found a video from social medias that have algorithms that specifically are designed to keep you in your echo chamber and your bubble so you stay engaged. That you found a video that aligns with your ideas, and that when you gathered it and edited it together into this prepared video to specifically support your point, like, I imagine you are very, very unshocked, actually.
I mean, you've got a whole beach.
Her level of engagement's already gone way too far.
Huh?
I talk to you.
You want to talk to me?
Yeah.
Oh. What about?
The sheer quality of his seduction technique then surpassed.
Unfortunately, like, Paul Joseph Watson doesn't have the sauce to call out what's truly happening here and how genuinely hilarious it is. We're watching an incel and a femcel meet in the real flesh space, okay? This is a rare occurrence, alright? Do you know how rare it is for these parties to leave their homes? The femcels go out a lot more than the incels do. But that dude and that girl were an incel and a femcel respectively. You heard the way she said, man. I'm sorry, but you can just sometimes tell if a girl's a femcel from the way she says man, alright? Or if she doesn't even say man and just says male instead, it's like, ooh, you're... Alright, okay, spicy. Yeah, unstoppable force meets an immovable object, exactly. Like, what Paul Joseph Watson doesn't realize here, because he's literally blind, he's race blind in the opposite way, he's blinded by race, is that he's witnessing a femcel and an incel batting, like going head to head right now.
as anything Casanova could ever have dreamed of.
You like beach
Do I like the beach? Yeah, I love the beach.
and swimming?
No, she obviously hates the beach and swimming. That'll be why she's laid on the beach in a swimming costume.
He didn't take no for an answer.
I spent 2 months travelling India solo. These are the mistakes I made. Said her choice of travelling there alone as a woman was an epic decision. Then wore a knee-length dress on a hot day and almost immediately had Indian men attempting to take photos up her skirt and got groped on the street. Then had to hide in shops while groups of them demanded to take photos with her. Epic.
You know what's really interesting? All of these things are really, really bad. I won't defend any of these problems that India has, because they're real problems. Paul Joseph Watson isn't lying when he talks about these problems that India has. Well, I'm sure he's going to get into some lies later. But so far, well, they're overgeneralizations, sure. The problems that he is using to overgeneralize are actual widespread issues. So overgeneralizing isn't too much of a twisting of the truth. I'll let it pass, is what I'm saying. I'll permit it, okay? However, have you ever noticed the hypocrisy in how conservatives so effortlessly dick ride Japan? And yet, are we not familiar with the state of being a woman in Japan right now? The fact that they're having to segregate cars by gender and family, and having a family because of how big of a problem being groped, sexually assaulted, raped, or peep-shotted on the fucking subway has been. You got creepers grabbing people, taking creep shots of people, like even committing rapes on the subway, and they're having to segregate the cars. You've got entire, I think they've had like national service announcements, like PSAs, about trying to prevent sexual harassment in public in Japan. It is a massive, massive problem. And you better believe if you're a tourist, it's going to be a problem too. Oh my God. Here's my favorite one. Here's my favorite one, guys. This is my favorite example of how fucked Japan is. If you're a woman and you're apartment hunting, who knows this one? If you're a woman and you're apartment hunting, they basically won't let you get a place on the first floor because there are no dryers in Japan. Wondering what connection does that have? You have to air dry your clothing in Japan for the most part. I mean, people do have dryers in Japan, but they're not common, especially in apartments. So people air dry their clothes very commonly in Japan, more often than not on their patio. And if you live on the first floor and you're drying your clothing on your patio and you're a woman, you will see your underwear and bras stolen, perhaps all of your clothes stolen. It is a big problem to the point where many renters, like, they won't let women rent the first floor. Like, they will say, no, you don't qualify. Like, you have to be a man to rent the first floor. I think they passed laws because it was such an issue to keep women from being forced to move into first floor places. Like, it's a serious issue culturally in Japan, the sexual harassment of women. It's a massive problem. People are like, why are the birth rates so low when Japanese women are so beautiful? Haha, goon post on Twitter or whatever. You see that all the time. And it's like, because the Japanese women don't want to fuck the Japanese men. Because the Japanese men won't stop being creeps. They won't stop being creeps. And yet, all you see from conservatives is fear-mongering about Japan's birth rate crisis and America's, while refusing to acknowledge the blatant misogyny. They dick ride the fuck out of Japan, talk about how glorious and amazing and perfect and safe it is. Meanwhile, they ignore this very blatant problem, and then they use that problem that they ignore in Japan to demonize India. And the reason why is because white supremacists see Japanese people as the white Asians, basically. And believe me, so do the Japanese.
Decision.
Böyle duruyorlar arkanda. Böyle bekliyoruz. Böyle bekliyoruz. Böyle. Sen kamera açınca bazıları rahatsız olup gidiyor bak. Böyle duruyor.
I don't even know what language she's speaking right now, but she's definitely being creeped on. The Hat Man is
But don't
watching.
go away, because as you'll see, she got off lightly. But speaking of female travel safety, Uber's just rolled out their Women Plus Connect feature nationwide, letting female and non-binary riders request female drivers, because that makes total sense. As Ground News' biased coverage shows, left-leaning outlets like the International Business Times are...
Okay, I won't lie. I won't lie. I do think that there is a problem with the left where when it comes to issues like this, like rampant sexual harassment in countries like India, the left is very much wants to reflexively deny anything the right claims. Naturally, it's a pretty easy way to default to the right position if you reflexively take the opposite position of the right on everything. 90% of the time, I'd say, you're going to end up on the right side of things. Yeah, like that's pretty fair, right? But, however, there is that one time out of 10 where the broken clock is right. Twice a day. And the right actually points out a real problem, and their conclusion is awful as always, but the problem they're pointing out is real. And the left has always, time and time again, made this critical stumble in where, when denying that this problem exists at all, just to reflexively react to the right, to say no you to the right, everybody who recognizes the problem ends up going to the only people that are talking about it. And if the only people that are talking about it are right-wingers, they're going to go to the right. And then they're going to be radicalized further, because that's how the internet and algorithms work. They radicalize. I'm not the only one who's noticed this, right? Like, does this make sense to you guys? Am I making sense to you guys? I think I'm cooking.
gushing over this as a long overdue safety feature, celebrating Uber for making rides safer for women. Meanwhile, right-leaning outlet The Blaze cuts straight through the absurdity with their headline, "What is a woman?" They're pointing out the glaring contradiction. If Uber's including non-binary passengers and drivers, what's stopping biological men from gaming the system? A male identifies as non-
Well, this is from The Blaze, which is a far-right news outlet. What stops biological men from gaming the system? Well, if a biological man shows up and is clearly a man with some kind of bad intentions, then they'll be denied a ride. And, yeah, that's pretty much the long and short of it. Do you believe that committing any crime whatsoever when you're a different gender or identify as a different gender or once again, what do we think is going to happen? Do we think that like men are going to pretend to be a woman to get into the women's only Uber and then commit a sex crime? Because whether or not that was a law, they were going to find an Uber driver to commit a sex crime against. Like there's no like this doesn't prevent anything. Once again, the side that claims gun control is pointless is arguing for laws that literally don't prevent the crime. They just, I guess, would harshen the punishment for it. I don't know how's that prevent anything. It doesn't. We know because with guns that it doesn't actually prevent anything.
Non-binary requests a female driver, a female requests a woman driver, gets a man who identifies as one. Congratulations, Uber, you've completely defeated your own stated purpose with woke nonsense. This is why I've partnered with Ground News for years now. They're the only app and website showing me the full picture on the most important issue.
Deadass, bro. I'm telling you, Ground News is like the VOT of the news world, okay? They're playing both sides. I have watched, like, everyone from, like, Shoe on Head to Paul Joseph Watson, who's on his racist screed right now, to progressive channels, like very progressive channels sponsored by Ground News. They are truly playing the leftist and Nazi side of the issue and like selling themselves to both. They truly are, they own it all. Ground News is going to get exposed soon, I hope. I'm telling you, the fact that, like, I've just had a bad feeling in my stomach about Ground News from the moment I became aware of their existence, and it is yet to go away, and they've only proven themselves to have less and less integrity over time. I mean, I don't know. I think we're going to find out something about Ground News eventually.
by gathering news from across the political spectrum, then breaking down each source's political lean and financial backing. I can see the world as it is, not as their biases want me to see it. Try it for yourself at ground.news/PJW via the link below, or scan the QR code on screen. Ground News.
To be fair, it's probably good for people and audiences like PJWs to be exposed to more news sources and stories outside of their bubble. I'm sorry, but that is not how anybody is using Ground News, I guarantee it. Okay, so when you hear a company, a news company, that literally categorizes all your news based on where its political bias is coming from, like if it's from a right-wing outlet or a left-wing outlet, how are you actually going to use that site? Are you going to search news story by news story, and you're going to check to see how much that story holds up to both sides, who's covering that story the most, which sounds like a lot of work, and you have to do that for every news story? Or do you think people left and right use it to find what outlets are on their side, then they go to those outlets and they get those their news exclusively from those outlets? Or do you think they just go to the tab for right-wing or left-wing news and just get info from that feed? I know they advertise as having the ability to do this like cross comparison, but nobody uses it that way. Like the vast majority of people are captured as fuck by the side they're on and have long since forgone the conclusion that the other side could have any point whatsoever on any issue.
News has helped dissipate all the overwhelming clutter on my social media. Instead of endlessly scrolling trying to figure out what's important and what's spin, they show me the truth in one clear format. Best part is, Ground News isn't a new tool that you have to learn. They're a better version of the doom scrolling you're already doing. One look at their blind spot feed, you'll see how many neutral outlets actually lean left, and why they adopt certain narratives for particular stories. I've never felt more informed and ahead of breaking news. Ground News has truly...
I like how if you watch like a Philip DeFranco Ground News sponsorship, it's like, and you can see how much the right is like twisting their, and then when you watch the Paul Joseph Watson sponsor segment, it's like, you can see how many supposed centrist outlets are actually left-leaning. I love how like left and right-leaning people have been given their own, like, they both seen different faces of the same company, right? Like whoever Philip DeFranco talked to at Ground News was not the same person, or if they were not acting like the same person that Paul Joseph Watson talked to at Ground News.
Truly become an invaluable tool in helping shape my daily news digest. And after reading your comments, I know you'd benefit too. So I got my viewers 40% off the same unlimited access Vantage plan I've been using. Just go to ground.news/PJ.
You got your fans that discount. It's not how sponsorships work, bro.
Or scan the QR code on screen. That's just $5 a month to think for yourself with clarity and context. And since we've all got that one friend who bases all their facts on biased news sources, you can save the debate and send my link instead. Ground News is independently owned and subscribed.
Okay, like the whole rest of the video is an ad, I think. It literally seems like the whole rest of the video is an ad. I forgot that Paul Joseph Watson does that. There are a handful of big, like, massive right-wing figures who've been doing that lately, where it's like 3 minutes of content and then 4 minutes of ad. And it's just like the last bit is their sponsored segment. And they will run mid-roll ads in that ending sponsored segment. Bruh. Paul Joseph Watson. I know that you're at your peak right now, but you have fallen in ways that you cannot imagine, my friend. You truly have. You truly, truly have.